Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Going to give people a couple seconds to come in. But for those that are tuning in later, Shabbat shalom. Whatever day it might be for you, this is Beulah Land Tippah Kifarim, live streaming the Shabbat services. This is the first class. Oh, it was a lag. This is the first class, and what we want you all to do, those that are listening in or tuning in later or even now, to go ahead and put in the comments your scripture that we're going to be going over. Well, no, actually, this is the wrong class. I'm sorry. But today, this portion of the class, we talk about what we're thankful for throughout the week. Um, that's the second class when we go over our scriptures. But this portion of the class, we talk about what's been good for us, what we're thankful for, what we're grateful for. For those of you that's tuning in right now, if you will put it in the comments, let us know what you're thankful for. We can put it on the screen and read it for those that's tuning in. And also those that's looking back on this class, put it in the comments section whenever you watch it. And we'll respond when we see it. All right. So again, we're going to get started with what we're thankful for, what we're grateful for. Um, is there anyone here that wants to take the floor? Is anyone that's tuning in that would like to say anything? Also, comment, like, subscribe, and please share. Please share to your family and your friends if you have been tuning in over these last couple of weeks to a couple months and you're liking what you're hearing from the speakers, from the spiritual leader, from those that's here. If you're liking it, subscribe, share, like, and comment. So for those that's just coming in now, I see some more people came in. This is the portion where we say what we're thankful for. Please write it in the chat. Let us know what you're thankful for, and we will post it. I'm going to pass the mic for anybody here that might want to get started. All right.
Shabbat Shalom Lekulam. I just want to give praise and honor to the Most High for another day of life, another Shabbat, Shabbat where I'm actually able to speak well. Last Shabbat, I think my voice was nearly gone. It was gone for like 4 days. I really couldn't talk, and unfortunately, I really couldn't sing. And singing to me is my second language, so I'm grateful to the Most High for allowing my Beulah family to nurse me back to health. Truly, I was I was getting help from all over, and I really appreciate it. From vapor rubs to cayenne pepper to tinctures with ginger and garlic and honey. So I'm just grateful. And my Ish even fixed me some tea and was taking care of me and making sure that I was okay. I'm just grateful because when you're sick or you're not feeling well, you're already in a mental state of just like, I wish I could feel better. But the thing that really does help is having a family that's looking out for you. It makes you feel better emotionally. I mean, you may still have the sick feeling, but when you have people there aiding and checking on you, it makes a world difference. And I'm grateful for Princess Medaya, my spiritual mother. I'm grateful for Zakana Cecilia for coming over. She came over and spoke to me for about, it was like 30 minutes, I think, or 45 minutes. And she dropped me off some cayenne pepper and some oil of oregano. So I had everybody looking out for me, and I really appreciate it because I'm telling you, like, I was up till 3 in the morning one of those days, coughing. Like, I just could not sleep because I had a dry, very irritating dry cough. And I think that I'm gonna say that only lasted for 3, maybe 2 days. And then that next day, after doing everything that I was given to help myself get better, I really started feeling the effects of just my voice started coming back. I noticed that I was getting sleepy around 8 or 9, and I could go to sleep because, like, when I had the dry cough, like immediately around 9 o'clock, I started coughing and wouldn't stop. And I'm grateful because my I was asking him, was it annoying that I was coughing? And he was like, no. He's like, as long as you're okay. He was like, I'm ready for this to be over. He didn't like, man, would you stop coughing? Would you stop this? No, he he was there supporting me along the way because I was like, I didn't want to keep him up because I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning coughing, y'all. But he was all right, and he was checked on me, and then even one morning I woke up and he was praying for me. So I definitely appreciate that because I was just like, I'm ready for this to be over with. So I'm grateful to the Most High because one, I do believe that the medicines or the natural remedies that I have, and also my new eating habits, allowed me to get better faster. I'm grateful that this did not carry on another week. I just, that would have been too much. Shalom, Zakena Cecilia again, told Arabah for help aiding me back to health. I could go on and on, but I'm truly grateful for my beautiful family. I'm grateful for everybody truly taking care of me. Zehu, shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Toda. For that, were you saying something, Prince?
Go ahead.
I had myself muted, so I couldn't hear you. Toda for that. If there's anything anyone wanted to say or comment about that, go ahead, and we could get started with the next individuals.
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah.
All right. Again, those that's tuning in right now, I see some people coming in. Please like, share, comment on what you are thankful for. That's what this moment is about right now, saying what you're grateful and thankful for today and or this past week. And we will post it and we will read it. Geber Autumn says, I am grateful that our Most High kept me throughout the week for first week back at work after the break. Grateful to make it to the rest day. Shalom. All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Also grateful to see Zakena Tusilia again. Zakena Tusilia says, may the Most High be praised. All right. Anyone else that's here and or in the YouTube land, Facebook land?
I'll go. So I just total Most High for the Shabbat day. As I say every week, I'm grateful to make it to this day every week. That to me is it's kind of like a marathon throughout the week, and to make it to the Most High's day that He set on record for us is like getting to that finish line. So every week it restarts, once the Shabbat's over. So I'm grateful for arriving at the finish line at sundown last night. I'm grateful for breaking bread with our family. As much as we like to have our space, we also like to be together. So I'm grateful that we're able to come and eat and just enjoy each other every Friday night as a family. And if y'all could see how we do it in these campers, and it'd be about 15 to 20 of us in there, but we make it work and we make it comfortable. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the families that are visiting us and that are here with us in Beulah land. I'm grateful for the children that are here. It's a beautiful thing to hear the Yeladim get up and outside playing and, just enjoying their life. So I'm grateful that the Most High has answered my prayers in many ways, because I just a couple of weeks prior prayed about the noise of children and having more children in our presence. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the last couple of weeks, my sister wife being here, and just us growing and just the things that are coming to fruition. And as my spiritual Bati stated, I'm grateful for her health, that she's getting better and better. And I'm grateful that the Most High has placed her in my life at such a time as this. We have a lot of meaningful conversations. So I'm grateful that I'm able to be here for her and her here for me, even if she doesn't see it that way, but she is. So Toda Rabbi for that. And I'm just grateful for my life and for the blessings that He has bestowed upon me. And I pray that He continues to open up my heart and my eyes to do His law, statutes, and commandments righteously, and allow me to continue to serve his people and be a righteous servant unto him. So Shabbat Shalom. Say who?
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabah.
All right. Toda Rabah. All right. So, do we have anyone else saying anything? Okay, we got a couple people. Toda for that princess. We have the Barrett Lyrical Dream. Who is that?
That's Chelsea.
Oh, Chelsea. I am just grateful for life in general. Like Princess Fadaya said, the week is like a marathon, and that statement was so true for me this week. So this Shabbat rest is so necessary. Todaya.
May the Most High be praised. This Toda Rabah. Toda Rabah.
All right. Again, those of you tuning in, please share, like, let people know. You know, we got a good lesson today. We got a good lesson in the second class as well. So make sure you be with us throughout this whole entire day if you can. All right. I think it's on me. It's on me for now. I would say that I am thankful and just grateful always for another day of life. Also my family, my Isha, everyone being in good health, no bad report from anyone. So I'm grateful for that. And just another opportunity to learn, another opportunity to obtain wisdom through more days, more weeks, more months, more years of living. So I'm just grateful for that. I want to give honor and praise to the Most High. Zehu.
Toda Rabah. May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabah. Thankful to the Most High for life, strength, energy, the opportunity to come and serve his people. You know, I'm thankful to the Most High that I made it back to Philadelphia safely. That was a long ride, 13 hours on the road. Long ride. It's a lot of driving. But I'm grateful. I'm thankful we made it back safely. We'll be back on that road again in about 2-3 weeks, heading back down there again. Doing what we do. This is what we do. 2-3 weeks here, 2 or 3 weeks there, 2 or 3 weeks here. You really can't never pin me down because you don't know where I'm at. That's when I'm on the road somewhere. Going back and forth. But with all that driving and all that flying, I'm grateful that the Most High has preserved me and allowed me to arrive safely during those travels because I'm always somewhere. I'm always on the road somewhere, traveling, flying, running, doing something. And each time, you know, I give the Creator his props before we go. And we happen to make it safely. But I'm really, really grateful for my journey back down home, down Georgia, for all the advancements that the Creator has allowed us to solidify while there. It's a beautiful thing. In a couple of weeks, the sisters will have experience and things that we need as a community to help us to do more for the people that we really need to do. In a couple of weeks, all that will be straightened out. We have begun the process of the layout for all the things that we're doing on the land. I mean, these things are major. This will change the face of Israel for the future. Even if you ain't even a part of us, this will help to change how people view you, see you, and respect you for the things that we're setting in place right now. We're doing some major, major, major things. And everything that we're doing is being done unselfishly. It's for the people. And that's primary goal number one, for the people. Everything that we do down in Beulah Land, it's all about the Israelite nation. And it will eventually affect the whole earth because we planting the seed right now. You know, everything is growing right now. We had left the house one day. I think it was all 4 of us. We was in the car together. The 4 that's on here on the screen. I think it was the 4 of us. We left the house one day and I said about how the Creator had gave me through revelations, through the scriptures. You know, sometimes we go in the scripture, we flip the pages and we stop and we put our finger on the page and whatever we read, That's what the message is for you. So you do that 2 out of 3 times, and then you stop, and then obviously the wordings would explain itself to you. You really don't need no explanation. It tells you yes, no, do this, do that. Well, I was sharing with the family one day, we was in the car, about what I had just received, that this is what we should be doing. I mean, this is what's going to happen. And lo and behold, Roche gets to talking about what happened with him. And then a week less than a week later, that thing began to take place. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Are y'all all familiar with what the conversation we had in the car that morning? Okay, well, we talked to y'all about it later since y'all don't remember the other two. So we talked to y'all about it later. But I'm just so thankful that the creator we serve is the power of all creation. He's real beyond your imagination. Let me give you one more example. Another thing why I'm so thankful. There was a person that we had to look into and check and verify that this person was a good person, worthy of being in the midst of us on that high level. So me and my Nasheen, while we was making prayer, we say to each other, we say, well, during the prayer, I was actually conducting the prayer at the time. I say to Creator, I said, Creator, give us a sign and let us know what it is that your will is done, that this person is acceptable by you to be here with us and do what we need them to do, that we move in the right direction, you know, all that good stuff. So we played with the sign a little bit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to play deep. I said, give me that money, that $100 million. What I say, $600 million, and let that money flow. I said, no, it ain't got to be like that. It ain't got to be that strong. I tell you what. So I broke it down, and I said, first I said, let your will be done any way you see fit. But then that's not really challenging the Most High to show you who he is. So I said, all right, I'll tell you what we do. This was at the end of the prayer, and I was talking to him just like this. I said, all right, I'll tell you what we do. I said, Creator, let somebody call my Isha, one of my Ishas, one of my Nasheen. I said, you know what? Let them call any one of us or all of us, however you see fit. Let somebody call us that we hadn't talked to in a long time, and let it be today. Because it was at night we was making prayer, the nighttime prayer. So that means the beginning of the day is at night. So let it be today, before the end of the day, and let it happen. So we left it alone, got finished making prayer, go about our business, go about our day. We chilling now. I guess this was Saturday night. I left Sunday morning, something like that. Sunday afternoon, I left somewhere in that area. So I'm driving all the way back to Philadelphia. I get back, either when I got back or before I got back, my phone didn't ring. Their phones didn't ring as far as anybody that we hadn't spoken to in a long time. When I get back, I realize, I look on my messenger, and I got a phone call on my messenger from somebody I hadn't talked to in a long time, one of my cousins who live in Texas that I only met once in person. That's how powerful that was. I only met him once in person, but I hadn't talked to him in a minute. And he called, but I missed the call. I didn't see the call, didn't get the call, didn't hear the call. But when I saw it, I saw that he called on the phone, and he fit in that description that our prayer was for the Most High to show us that this person was acceptable. And sure enough, without a shadow of a doubt, he was in Philly. We chilled. My cousin's name is Sid. We went and we chilled. Sid, if you're in the room, give him a shout out if you're in the room. We went and we chilled. We had lunch together. I met his old lady. And then I met another cousin through Sid. So I'm grateful for all of this, man. And this is why I'm saying these things, because these things are good. I met another cousin that lives right here in Philadelphia that I didn't know through Sid, through that union with Sid, with that phone call conversation that I prayed for the night before or early in the morning on Shabbat, after Shabbat. So I'm grateful, family. Believe me, I am. There's so much to thank the Most High for. We have life, we have strength, we have health. You know, we have the ability to draw closer to him by making the sacrifices in our daily lives. So may the Most High be praised. We're going to wrap this up. giving all glory and honor and praise unto the Most High King from everlasting to everlasting. Toda Rabbah. You got that, Rosh?
Okay. All right. Well, that concludes everyone. Oh, you're talking about the. I didn't see that. As I came to say, it says, grateful to the Most High for the freedom of travel at this time, along with the gift of the ability to move our limbs to get where we need to go. We don't acknowledge this gift of grace until it is removed.
That's correct. She's absolutely right about that. For a lot of us, that's the way it goes.
All right. And
God be praised, sis.
Tara says, Shabbat Shalom. I'm grateful that we are in good health and for the Most High's provisions.
May the Most High be praised. And you know what? Health is one of those things that you don't realize how much of a blessing it is until it's taken from you. Once it's stripped from you, you get to see the absence of it and you miss it so very much. And just like she said, I'm grateful that we are in good health. And that's the important part of this worship to the Most High. Extremely just important part of life. I don't know one man who wouldn't trade all that he has, all of his riches, and all that he's obtained in life for good health. Read on. Toda Rabbah. May the Most High be praised. Is there anyone else? All right. So we're going to turn the floor over. My brother is going to present a beautiful lesson for us, I'm sure, because he's just that qualified, just got the skills like that, you know. What can I say? I know he's going to present a beautiful lesson. So let's get your pens, your paper, your notepads, take notes, ask questions. If you have any questions, comments, you can type them in a room, or you can wait till it's over and then present them in a room, however you need to do it. But let us know what your questions or comments are. All right? May the Most High be praised. My brother, you got the flow. Toda Rabbah.
Toda. Shabbat Shalom lekulam. Ani mipalel shekol tov k'mayom. I pray all is well with you all today. Reshit ani rotzeh latet kabod ve'shabach leYahweh Eloi Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov. First, I want to give honor and praise to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Today we're gonna do something a little different, and I kind of wanted to. I was talking to. Well, first, I want to give honor to my Ab and my aim, my father and my mother. I told you all I wanted to start doing that more often. A lot of times, a lot of us as teachers, leaders, those of Yisrael, we come into this walk, and we are so excited about this walk, excited about serving the Most High, excited about our literature and things of that nature, but we forget the ones that birthed us. So I told myself I want to make sure I give honor to them second, to the Most High. And then I want to give honor to my teacher and mentor, Chief Prince Eberlon Belewadekia, Chief Elder Moore Shalim. I'm grateful that he was able to overcome a cancer that he had, and the spiritual leader of Simple Harim in Prince being here present today. And then my Ishai too, you know, gotta give credit to my Ishai, you know. But I wanted to bring that out because it's a lot of things. More specifically, we're so focused on the. It's a bad. Let me mute somebody. I don't know something. Yeah. So we're so focused on laws and Torah, and when I say that, you got to understand what I mean by that. It's a level of focus that we have which is not truly genuine. It might be genuine to that individual that they're genuine, but it's not genuine from a standpoint of its original origin, right? And the origin of our Tanakh, or our Torah, I should say, is teaching us how to serve the Most High. It's teaching us how to be towards one another, and it's helping us to prevent us, one, from serving other powers, but also to keep us in line with one another so we can succeed. So I had a conversation with my mentor once before, and we was talking about like when you think of the Tanakh, you think of like Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and stuff like that. We think of Solomon being the wisest man at that time, right? And we know that his I was about to say lyrics, his writings was it was amazing for that time and even for this time. But then as you continue to go in different eras and different parts of life, you experience different things that wasn't of the norm in past times. So I say that to say I want to introduce to you all, those of you that's not really familiar with the book of Sirach. We're going to be in the book of Sirach today. Ecclesiasticus is another name for it. And it was, a lot of you are knowledgeable, I'm sure, of this, that it was a part of our scriptures. It was called a canonical books. I never could say that word properly, but you get the gist. It was a part of our scriptures, and they took it out for whatever reason it might be. We also know that when you're thinking of what they call the Apocrypha, it's filled with history. The book of Maccabees, more specifically, for those of you that just got done doing what you all call Hanukkah or Feast of Dedication, you'll find it in the book of Maccabees. Also, it has what people will call folklore, things of that nature. And those type of things, what you will hear Chief Prince speak on, and he could speak a lot more eloquently than me. Those are part of different cultures. You have different cultures that has folklore, different things that kind of drive their culture. So you have certain things within there that you will classify that as folklore. And then also you have things that's pertaining to life, wisdom, right? Which is, all of it is wisdom, but specifically matters that happens like in our day today. We have in the Torah, it's matters within it that doesn't apply to the Torah. What I mean is the Torah is our skeleton, tells us what we're supposed to do, X, Y, and Z. But a lot of people today, they will utilize the scripture and use it as their benefit to go against something that they know is not right. So people like the writings dealing with Solomon, people write like in Sirach, things like Perkel Bot. These are things that build off of the Torah or build off of the Tanakh to make sure there's no loopholes set for individuals. So that's kind of why I'm taking us there now, and it's a lot of insight in there. So we're going to start at the in the book of Sirach, chapter 1. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. You will see me going back and forth from the book that I have, which a lot of you are used to this one, and then the one that the version that I'll have on the screen for you all to read if you do not have an Apocrypha available. Okay. So let me share my screen. Is there any questions before we get started? Any questions about where we're about to go before I even get started?
Yes. I heard you speak a little bit about the Apocrypha used to be a part of the Torah.
No, not a part of it. It was a part of the what they call the Bible. So it wasn't. It's after the Tanakh. It's not in the Torah. It's not the writings. It's not the prophets. So I just wanted to put that out there. Was that where you going with it, or you was asking a different question?
No, that's where I'm going with it. But I need to say it in a way that I'm not disrespectful. That's what I'm thinking in my mind, how to put it out there correctly, so it won't appear as if I'm being disrespectful. But there are a lot of writings in the Apocrypha that was written before the book of Isaiah. See? So it's not like it's after the Tanakh. A lot of those books was right along during the time frame, like the book of Ezra, those type of things. Those things was written even during the time or the lifetime of those individuals. But the books themselves was compiled at the end of the Tanakh. See, if you recall, not you, Roche, the family who's listening who might not have the history, this is who I'm speaking to right now. If you recall, there's a lot of the books in the Bible, they're not in chronological order of their happenings. They're just in the order that the author, whoever compiled the Bible, decided to put it in. All right. So a lot of the books in the Bible might be in the book, in the Bible, in the Tanakh, but it's not necessarily chronological order. Like you read from Genesis to Deuteronomy, that's chronological order, meaning one thing happened in this book before it happened in the next book. Well, when you get down after the Torah itself and you're dealing with the Tanakh, things are not necessarily in chronological order. So that's the only point that I was trying to make clear. But I was asking a question for you to explain to the family a little bit of the origin of the Apocrypha so they will be aware of it.
Was compiled mainly, you would say, they say School of Thought has it to where it's between 200 BC and about 150 AD, 175 AD. As far as speaking on the chronological order, I would love to pass that on to when he's released this book. By the way, I'm putting something out there. Chief Prince Eberlin is actually putting a more effective, I would say, chronological order, because there's different schools of thought of chronology. By the way, he actually has it in his book. He just released the chronological order of a lot of things and events and things that's pertaining to Israel that happen. That's more concise in regards to our culture and our understanding versus their culture and their understanding. As far as the stuff that's compiled, that's kind of why I was going with it too. It was taught, and it's taught often, that you just stay in the Torah. You just stay in the Tanakh. I don't have that school of thought at all. I have the school of thought that that's supposed to be our authoritative direction in where we're supposed to go. But our great men and women of the Most High, they put things in place and literature in place for us to further understand the matter. We are a people of scribes. We are people that put things in place for generations to come, for those that's after us. So sometimes they might not have a great understanding as to what the Torah or how they're supposed to move within the Torah. It's a lot of things that's within the Torah that is not explained on how we're supposed to do it. And some will be in disagreement with me when they say that. But a lot of those that are those that move already out of order. They're not moving within culture. They're not moving within accountability. So what I'm about to go into, and many other writings that we have, it expounds on how we can further our education, our understanding, and become closer to the Most High and ourselves. So hopefully that explained it. If not, as we continue, we're gonna understand as we read. All right. So for those of us not knowing who I am, because I see we got a lot more people tuning in, I am Naseekh Shama, and as I have stated, my teacher, my mentor, Chief Prince Eberlin, my chief elder, More Shalem, spiritual leader of Temple Kivarim Prince, and giving honor to my Ab and my aim. So let's go. Let me pull up and present this really quickly. Kind of get y'all thrown off a little bit, so likely you all. All right. So I want to start before we go to chapter 1. I want to paint a picture of what you would see from an individual, whether man or woman. It's talking about particularly a man in this sense, I will say. But I like to apply most things that has to do with serving the Creator, the Most High, the eternal power, and being of a good leadership within the community and to the people of the Most High. It applies to both. All right. I'm going to read from this version, but for those that don't have it, you can follow on reading here. And we're going to read from verse 1 to verse 11 in Sirach 39. All right. And it reads, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. So I want to stop there. Him that giveth his mind to the law, right, and meditates on it. It's deeper than just reading. When you meditate on something, it starts to come out of you through your actions. A lot of us, whether people in Christianity who follow this book, whether us in this in our community who follow it, we think that it stops at just reading and teaching. We think that it stops at just going in front of people and talking. But in order to meditate, the meditation is shown through your works, what comes out not only when you're writing and teaching, but how you operate with one another. All right. And is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, right? So this is not just talking about, as I was stating, just the Tanakh. It's things pertaining to anything that's wisdom that derives from and is dedicated towards the Most High first and his people. So it's more than just that. Think about it. We all have children. Some of us have children, right? Some of the things that we're putting out there for them to learn the main thing is the Torah or the Tanakh, all the writings with it. But it's stuff that you're teaching them in the home that applies to out there in the world too. All of this stuff applies out there in the world, but there's some instances to where it doesn't have rules that applies to it. Right? So we have to put things in place. So we're going to keep reading them. Let's go. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, right? Or as this says, famous men. So the men that's esteemed highly in the community, right? Those that I would say that shows it not only from the famous or being esteemed, but actually living it. I'm going to push that out there more than anything. And we're going to read that today. It's not just about who you are, what you have, how long you've been in something, how many accolades you have. It's your consistency. And Ezekiel confirms that when it talks about if someone was righteous so long and then they turned from it, now they're not righteous anymore. And they start being wicked. They're not, all that stuff that took place don't even matter. But we got to understand it, and we have to agree with that with each other, and we have to believe it. All right. Verse 3, he will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. He shall serve among great men and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, for he have tried the good and the evil among men. This just means this individual, and I still will say women as well, right? Because I want to encourage the women that you have to do great as well. Don't just put it on your man or the man. Chief Prince, I posted something yesterday that Chief Principal will say, like, if something's not getting done, then you need to be the person to get it done. So if we're complaining about our women or our men, then you be the difference to change it. You be the difference to change it. Right? So this person that's being spoken about is saying that they're putting themselves in the place, in the tutelage of men that are greater than them in order to learn and for them to be great and surpass that greatness that they was learning from, to keep the community or the people thriving, serving the Most High properly, right? And to complete the goals that were set in place. They're sitting up here traveling. They're sitting up here learning all the good and the bad. Not saying that they're being a part of the bad, but they're seeing it. They're seeing what's not to be done, and they're applying it, not applying the bad, but applying what needs to be done to correct it. So our literature, our Tanakh, we see all the bad things that happens, and that's what I love about Yisrael. We are going to tell it. We're going to, in our literature, we tell the good and the bad. So we need to look at that bad and we need to go ahead and learn from it. Verse 5, he will give his heart to resort early to the Most High that made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer and make supplications for his sins. So you're not going to just be asking things of the Most High. You're not just going to please help me in this department. I want this to happen. You're going to be confessing anything that you believe that the Most High believes is wrong. You're going to confess it. You're going to be in prayer mode. In our writings, we see examples of our forefathers praying often, 3 times at the bare minimum a day. How many of us do that? The Most High is the maker, the creator, the eternal power that has given you breath. But do you talk to the Most High more than you talk to your friends and your family? That's something we got to think about. Are we communicating with the Most High more than we communicate with TV, communicate with games, communicate with men and or women? Are we communicating with the Most High more than... Now, some people say that's not realistic. I believe it is. Another way of communication is your actions. That shows that you have been listening and you have been communicating with the Most High through your actions. All right. Verse 6. When the great power will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding. He shall pour out wise sentences and give thanks unto the Most High in prayer. So this is not a specific age right here. It says when the Most High wills it, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding. What does that mean? That means everybody that knows of this law or reads it or talks about it or teaches it don't have the understanding that they claim to have. That's what it means. The Most High will make sure you have that understanding when you deserve it. And that same way that the Most High is given to us, if we deserve it, we should treat those that are amongst us the same way. They have to earn it. Don't hold them back from that earning, though. Verse 7. He shall direct his counsel and knowledge, and in the secret shall he meditate. He shall direct his counsel and knowledge, and in his secrets shall he meditate, right? In the secrets of the Most High. He shall show forth that which he hath learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Most High, right? So the glory is just not, oh, I give you honor and all the glory. We say that, but glory is shown through our actions. That's what's shown. Shall glory in the law of the covenant. How can you glory in the law just by saying it? So you know it's not saying it when we say, I give you all the honor and all the praise and all the glory. You're glorying in it, right? You're making it, it's being magnified on you and through you. That law. Many shall commend his understanding, and so long as the world endureth, it shall not be blotted out. His memorial shall not depart away, and his name shall live from generation to generation. He's going to do so much good. She's going to do so much good that people will still be talking about them. That good is going to overlook or overdo the bad that you think that person has done. Even you yourself is going to have to say something right about that person. Nations shall show forth his wisdom, and the congregation shall declare his praise. If he die, he shall leave a greater name than 1,000. And if he live, he shall increase it. All right. So I wanted to start off there, painting a picture of an individual that is seeking this wisdom, that's living this wisdom, that's being around the right people to see the example of how the wisdom should be. And then they start fulfilling that wisdom and that walk and their actions themselves. But we have to be intentional. Or in this, when we continue reading, we're going to see it's going to say deliberate. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next chapter. Is there any questions? I hope you all do have a pen or pencil or paper to write some notes down and write some thoughts down that you might have. But we're going to go through quite a few chapters. Any questions before I go for it? All right. Let's go to Sirach chapter 1. Sirach chapter 1. And we're going to jump down to 22 and 30. But before we do that, I want to read just the beginning of it for those that's not familiar. And I want to show just a few things. And it's the prologue section. All right. And it says, whereas many and great things have been delivered unto us by the law and the prophets, and by others that have followed their steps, for the which things Israel ought to be commended for learning and wisdom, right? And whereof not only the readers must needs become skillful themselves, but also they that desire to learn, to be able to focus more than anything should not only just be the reading of it or the learning of it, but we should gain wisdom as to how we're supposed to move. All this knowledge means nothing. So let me backpedal. It means something, but it do more harm helping somebody through this knowledge that you have if you're not displaying and demonstrating it properly. All right. It says, my grandfather Yehoshua, when he had much given himself to the reading of the law and the prophets and other books of our fathers, and had gotten therein good judgment, was drawn on also himself to write something pertaining to learning and wisdom. Wait a minute. We should just stay in this book, stay in the Torah, stay in the Tanakh. That's not my school of thought. That's the foundation. Yes, of course, we should, but we should not diminish further learning to understand how to move properly with it. Because if I'm wrong, then we wouldn't have so many different sections of Yisrael. We wouldn't have so many different thought process as to how we're supposed to move. We wouldn't have so many scholars that have different understandings as to when a day starts, as to what Moshiach means, as to how leadership's supposed to be. And most of us that have this do not have further education. You know who do? The other nations that's taking on our literature, because they have an understanding that we should go a little deeper to expound on people that's getting a hold of our literature and trying to just go off of their thoughts of what it means. We need what my teachers would say, gatekeepers, to formulate things so that those that's after us can understand the structure and continue going properly. We should take on that mantle. Addicted to these things might profit much more in living according to what? The law. It has to point back to the law. So don't get it mistaken what I'm saying, those is listening. I'm not saying move away from the law. The law is the thing to do. It's the foundation. But let's make it plain. Many of us don't understand it. Many of us here don't understand it. Here, meaning the United States, by the way. Or outside the United States. We don't understand it. So it needs to be something put in place. In Ezra or Nehemiah, it said they had to speak and teach to give them the wisdom, if I'm not mistaken. My verbiage might be wrong. Prince, correct me if I'm wrong. But to give them the understanding. They needed to be taught how to get that understanding. So there's nothing wrong with extra literature. Wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention. Read it with favor, with grace, and attention. Take your time, understand, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no difference when they are spoken in their own language. Don't let nobody teach you that you don't need to know Hebrew. If they do, they're not learned, respectfully. If they do, they're lazy, respectfully. They don't want you to surpass in their understanding, respectfully. This isn't to say to be a master of the language. This is talking about having a certain understanding that the English does not match the Hebrew. If it agrees with it, good. But we need to further our understanding and dive deeper. I just wanted to read that part. Let's get into the writings. Any questions about that before we keep going? Anyone?
Yeah, I got a question. Why would they not want you to learn Hebrew to surpass them? What are they afraid of?
Being not telling the truth is my opinion. They're afraid of the fact that you're going to find out they're not telling the truth, or they don't really have the understanding that they claim they have. They don't have the humility to just say, hey, this is not my department. I don't know. When it comes to history and things of that nature, but I will go to the next person that knows better than me. Any history that I need that I don't know, I go straight to Chief Prince Zebulon, because in my opinion, he's a historian of this time. If one of them. But they're not, they won't do that. Gaber Autumn said, why were these books taken out of the Bible? We're going to read. When we read through the Sirach, this is the first part. I'm gonna have a second part to this. We're going to read things that they would not have wanted the people to read. That's my opinion. There's other schools of thought as to why these things were taken out, but mine is they did not want certain things to be seen. Any thoughts on that, Prince?
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what they took it out for. You know, the Catholic Vulgate Bible used to have the Apocrypha combined with the Tanakh. And then the New Testament came around, they began to switch things up and they took it out. So go do your thing, Roche. You're doing a great job. Toda Rabbi.
Toda. All right, you all. I'm going to get us. I know we've been sitting on this for a minute. Let's go down to verse 22 through 30. We're going to read 22 through 30. I'm saying that because I know I have my Isha and or Princess Isha writing it down for you all. So we're going to do 22 through 30. I'm going to read from this right here, but you all can follow along here. The translation may be just a little different. All right. Verse 22. So the basis of this, the topic of this lesson, just so you all have an understanding where I'm about to go with this, is his house shall soon be overthrown. Okay. So his or her house. And I start with his because we understand as Hebrews that the man is supposed to be the leader of the home. The man is supposed to direct, protect those within his home. And if he don't move certain ways, his home will be overthrown. There will be things in this that we're going to read that some of you that's listening to me are not going to like. But I ask you to look at my past teachings to know that, okay, Naseekh Shama tries to be balanced. And I'm going to explain something to you as we keep going. So hopefully we make it through it. We should. All right, verse 22. So remember, his house shall soon be overthrown if he does opposite of what I'm about to read going forward. It says, a furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. Okay? So being upset, being mad, that's one thing. Being furious and operating off of things as not being righteous, it's not justified. right? So a furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. Why is that? Because he might be going straight off emotion. He might not be thinking logically. A lot of our movements has to be logically thought out. You know, it's taught that women don't have logic, only men have logic. I think we both have our own. I think we both have similar traits, but we have different strengths, and certain strengths is more for the man, and certain strengths is more for the woman. We got to keep that in mind. Let's keep going. Verse 23: a patient man will bear for a time, and afterward joy shall bring up unto him. Right. So be patient. Don't move in this fury. Right. You might realize that you should not be this furious anyway. It's nothing to be mad about, unless it is something to be mad about. But move patient to understand, or get the proper understanding that this is a reason to be upset. He will abide his words for a time. Let me make sure you all still there. Yeah, he will abide his words for a time, and the lips of many shall declare him his wisdom. Why? Because he didn't just operate off of emotion. He took his time, right? This goes for man and woman. Take heed to what we're reading. This could go for both of us. The parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. Godliness is an abomination to a sinner. Now, I'm a believer that everyone's not a sinner. I believe everyone sins, but I definitely don't believe everyone's a sinner, because the Most High don't deal with sinners. Let me say that again. The Most High does not deal with sinners. So if you teach that everybody is a sinner, I pray that you rethink that thought process. All right. The parables of knowledge are in the treasure of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. Because why? They're not doing the things that the law speaks of. And guess what? You are sinning if you're tailbearing. You are sinning if you bear false witness. You are sinning if you're causing disruption in the community. Oh, we can't read that. I can show you, but we don't got time for that right now. Call me Isha later and I'll give you the scriptures. Verse 26, if thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Most High shall give her unto thee. Keeping the commandments is the roadway or the path to obtaining the wisdom, because you understand that the commandments gives us life. It gives us longevity in life. One with the Most High and one with each other. Why am I saying each other? Because most of us aren't keeping the commandments. That's why most communities are failing. We ain't keeping it. We think we are, but we're not. "27. For the fear of the Most High is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness are his delight." So it says, for the fear of the Most High is wisdom and instruction. There's a problem right there. A lot of us don't like instruction. And if you keep instruction, then that shows that you have the fear of the Most High. Oh, shoot. You got the fear of the Most High because you understand that the Most High is order. And that instruction is going to cause you to thrive in whatever you're trying to do. Distrust not the fear of the Most High when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart, a double mind. A double mind. That's why when we read up, it was talking about patience. Because if you're not patient, it causes you to move in different ways. You're not staying still. Learn, gather information when it pertains to our literature. And then that will help us to be on one accord as one man, as we could read like in Nehemiah, and Ezra. They was moving as one man. And throughout the scriptures, other places that talks about they moved as one man. They weren't double-hearted. They weren't double-minded. They was moving collectively together in order to thrive. 29, be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest, right? So this is self-explanatory. Be a man or a woman of your word. If you're not able to accomplish it, let it be known. Have communication, right? But don't be a hypocrite. A lot of us, we not doing the things that we're teaching. We're not doing the things that we're telling other people to do. 30. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so the Most High discover thy secrets and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou camest not in truth to fear the Most High, but thy heart was full of deceit. It was full of deceit because you thought yourself to be something that you weren't. You weren't humble. You didn't let other men speak or other women speak highly of you. You are a person that consistently speak only about yourself. And it's nothing wrong with, being happy that you're doing something, saying good things and positive things about yourself. But this is not talking about that. This is arrogance that this is talking about. All right. Any questions? We're going to move on to chapter 2. I told you all we're about to go through some chapters. So any questions with this?
My concern, can you elaborate a little bit more about that double mind that people have straddling that fence? Could you elaborate just a little bit more on that?
Okay. From my point of view, my understanding, when it's speaking about double-minded, this is why it's harping so much on keeping the commandments and meditating on the commandments. Has any of you ever, when you first came in this walk, perhaps will be praying and then you start thinking of something else? Your focus just goes elsewhere, right? This is why I believe when it talks about meditation, it's telling you to focus. It's telling you to stay guard on what it is that you're supposed to learn, which is the commandments, right? But stand focus within that meditation, because if you're not, then you're going to be more liable to drift. And if you're liable to drift, then now you're going to be battling. Do I stay here at the commandments or do I go this way? That's double-minded. That's not being focused on what you're supposed to be doing, and that is serving the Most High power, keeping the commandments, which embodies serving Him, loving each other, moving culturally, being separate from those that is against the Most High. And when I say those that are against the Most High, that's anybody that's teaching you to go elsewhere or opposite of what it's teaching us to do. That causes us to be double-minded. And that's my answer for that. I don't know if I answered it for you.
Total.
Any other questions, you all? All right. Let's go ahead and go to chapter 2. I'm going to do 1 through 11. Chapter 2. All right. And it says, my child, when you come to serve the Most High, prepare yourself for testing. Why is it letting us know off the bat to prepare ourselves? Because we think when we're coming to the Most High, everything is just going to be good. You have to be prepared. It's kind of like when you go to a job and you're about to have an interview, you are supposed to come prepared, have information and knowledge on what this job is about. Learn the history about this job so you know how to address this supervisor, this manager that's about to potentially hire you, right? So you need to be prepared, understand the decorum that you're supposed to have when dealing with this job, right? Prepare yourself for testing because the Most High is going to test. Set your heart right and be steadfast, right? Be still, be patient. Set your heart or your mind on the right side. We was just talking about what a princess asked me that question about double-minded, right? It's letting us know to set your mind right and do not be impetuous in time of calamity, right? So don't be hasty. If you're already prepared and you already know it's going to be trouble, at some point, it's going to be some hiccups. So if you're prepared, then you're not going to be hasty and you're not going to be quickly wanting to run just because something happened to you. Cling to him, verse 3, and do not depart, so that your last days may be prosperous. It didn't say your beginning days. It said your last days, right? Except whatever befalls you. You hear us a lot say things like, let the Most High will be done, no matter what, because sometimes what you want might not happen. But if you stay as much as in line with the Most High as possible, it's a great chance that it will. Right? But accept whatever happens and be patient. And in times of humiliation, be patient. For gold is tested in the fire, and those who found acceptable in the furnace of humiliation, trust in him, and he will help you. Make your ways straight and hope in him. Right? So it's continuing to elaborate on us staying straight. It is too much temptation out there, you all that's listening right now. And one of the main reasons that there's so many temptation, because first of all, we're not together. We speak on community so much, I know it gets annoying. But when you are out there alone, it is hard. And I know some of you know what I'm talking about. It is hard, especially if you are a person that's truly walking straight. Because 9 times out of 10, your friends, your family, your associates are not doing this walk. And that makes it even more harder. So it's letting us know to make our ways straight and hope in him. You who fear the Most High, wait for his mercy. Do not stray, or else you may fall. Right? I like that it said you may fall, because sometimes at that moment you might not. But you may think because you're not falling that it never will happen. You who fear the Most High, hope for good things, for lasting joy and mercy. Consider the generations of old and see, has anyone trusted in the Most High and been disappointed? Or has anyone preserved in the fear of the Most High and been forsaken? Or has anyone called upon him and been neglected? The answer is no, but sometimes it feels like it's yes. Sometimes it feels like it's yes because it's not changing right when you want it to. But when you really look at our literature, our history, and if we believe in it, then we actually don't see a time where the Most High did any of these things that it's saying. For the Most High is compassionate and merciful. He forgives sins and he saves in time of distress. Doesn't say he forgives sinners, unless that sinner stopped being a sinner. Any questions? Look like you got a question, Prince. I see your face.
I know what you're saying, and I understand where you're at, but some people might not follow that. He doesn't forgive sinners.
I said it doesn't say he does. So if you're listening, not you, but if anyone's listening, just pay attention to the consistency of what I'm bringing out, right? So earlier I said that we do sin. I said everyone's not a sinner. And anyone that teaches that everyone is a sinner, respectfully, I would say just look more into the literature and look more into the consistent subjects within our history, and you'll see that everyone's not a sinner. A mistake or even an intentional action does not make that person a sinner. He sinned or she sinned. A sinner is someone that practices and continues to do it. You look up the definition of basketball player. That won't be somebody like me, Prince, or Princess Medaya to go out there and get a ball and shoot it 3 days out the month. We just shot the ball 3 days out the month. The definition is going to show someone that is actually on a basketball team that practices every day, that's a part of an organization which is doing seasonal tournaments and things like that. That is a basketball player, meaning they do it every day. They're thinking about it every day. They're practicing every day. So when I say it doesn't say sinner, I'm saying that when you go through the text of Tanakh, you're going to say that he does not dwell amongst us. Anyone that sinners, he pushes them far away. Matter of fact, you can't even partake with the Most High if you're a sinner. So I'm saying we need to remove that from our mind on calling ourselves sinners. We do sin. It says the righteous falls. It don't even say sins at that part. But the righteous falls 7 times. It's not a real number. That means you're going to do something that's going to be against the Most High at some point in your life, or often. When I say often, I'm not saying like every day. You can live to be 100. You're going to mess up. So hopefully that answers the question. Is there any more questions? Any more questions? So remember, his house shall soon be overthrown. All these things that's being talked about right now, your foundation, your home, if you're married, if you're not married, your life, these things can happen to us if we do exactly what it's telling us not to do. And we all know this. We're all adults, but for some reason we need to be reminded over and over and over again. This is happening in Israel all through the Tanakh, and it's happening today. We do things when we know we should not do it. And the reason we do things when we know we shouldn't do it is because we have not, the flip side of that center example I was saying, practiced being righteous daily. Meditating and I say something about along the lines of a lot of times people are okay until pressure is pushed on them. Get yourself in a situation to where you can handle pressure. So if that pressure happens, it's going to really showcase if you're really as righteous as you think. An example is Eob. Right? I like that. Kabir Aisha said, Kaza said, adults, but babies to righteousness. Most High calls us the children of Yisrael. We understand that we're the children of Yisrael because we derive from Yisrael, Yaakov, right? But the other side of it is because we act like it too. That's my opinion. I won't say that scripture. All right. Let's go to chapter 5. We're going to go to chapter 5. Only reading 7 verses in there, you all. 1 through 7. Right. 1 through 7. It says, set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. I want to stop there. You know how hard it is not to do that when you don't have anybody holding you accountable? Do you know that we ask the average Israelite, do they feel that they're doing this? Especially if they know that they're, if they view themselves as being righteous or good servants of the Most High. If you ask the average one, they won't. I mean, I've actually asked quite a few this question, because that's why I'm always speaking on accountability. It's hard for us to do this thing that is saying verse 2, follow not thine own mind. How hard is it to not follow your own mind if you have nobody to challenge it? If you have nobody to challenge your thoughts, everything that you say is right. Everything. And thy strength to walk in the ways of your mind, your heart. It says, and say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Most High will surely revenge thy pride. Right? Pride is that number one thing Most High don't like. Well, that's what it says in scripture. Arrogance, I should say. Pride is okay. We can have pride for our people. Pride for Israel, right? We can have that. But arrogance is a whole different thing, because now you think that you're the one that's doing everything. Who can control me for my works? Verse 4. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm have happened unto me? The Most High is long suffering. he will in no wise let thee go. Concerning propitiation, I never could say that word. Be not without fear to add sin unto sin. And say not, his mercy is great. He shall be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and has indignation rested upon sinners. Right? So indignation rested or rests upon sinners, not those that's righteous, not those that serve the Most High, not the righteous individual that fell and got back up and turned, but his indignation is on sinners, right? And then it's also letting you know, don't always say that the Most High is just not. Now, hear me out when I say this. We know that the Most High is merciful. We should teach that. We should say that. But it's individuals that say that, think that so much that they think that they can't get nothing done to them because the Most High is merciful. And that's what it's saying right here. And say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him. So mercy comes from him, but wrath does too. Make no tarrying to turn to the Most High, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly so the wrath of the Most High comes forth, and in the security thou shalt be destroyed. And perish in a day of vengeance. Why? Because you thought you were safe. You thought you were safe because nothing is happening to you. We think, those of us that still in that mindset, we think that we are fine. And you know why? Because we got so many distractions happening around us. We're living life. We're around other people that's not even doing it the way that we claim that we do it. So we're just distracted. We're not meditating, or we haven't meditated on this law and meditated on our history to see how the Most High operates, right? We're not going off of preparation, being prepared, understanding when we come to the Most High that these are the things that can happen. These are the things that has happened, and these are the things that may happen if we continue in this way. All right. Any questions? No questions.
I put a question up.
Oh, okay. Is that Zakana Cecilia question?
Okay.
Are sinners perpetual transgressors with no thought of repenting? Simple answer, yes. Okay. Sinners are those that practice it daily and don't care about repenting. That might be classified as wicked, actually. All right. Hopefully that answered the question.
May I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
How do you view the people that's sinning unintentionally, like practicing idolatry, but yet really believe that it's true? How do you view them?
The perfect example, which is my favorite king. My favorite king. I love all the kings. I like all the kings. Josiah. It said that he did all things right in the eyes of the Most High. We know that that's not the whole context of what's being said. It's talking and speaking in reference of when he found out that they weren't serving properly and they was doing what was wrong. Now, granted, he strikes me as the type, from reading about him, as he did what he was taught and he fulfilled what he knew prior. But when he found out what was wrong, he changed it. So to answer your question from my point of view is this is talking about, in my opinion, those who know that they're sinning, literally know they're doing wrong and willing to do it wrong and have no repentance in their mind, right, to change at all. But Josiah is an example of the question I believe that you're asking, that if they are they're unknowing, they're doing the best that they know how. It's people in the Christian world, and I think you said this one time too, Prince, or often maybe, that and I teach it often as well, that are doing this book, quote unquote, better than we are. From the knowledge that they have. Their spirit when it comes to servitude, their spirit when it comes to what they believe of serving the Most High and how they treat one another surpasses most of us as conscious Yisrael. So to answer your question, I believe that the Most High, as long as they have breath, those individuals, that they have time, or the Most High will reveal it to them. We read that earlier. I forgot what chapter, when it talks about that the Most High will give the spirit of understanding. And they might get that spirit of understanding later than we've gotten it. And they might do a better job than we've been doing it when they get it. So hopefully that answered the question. All right, we're going to chapter 6. You all kind of quiet today. Chapter 6. And we're going to be in 5 through, this one's going to be a little longer, 5 through 17. We're going to go through that one. Chapter 6, 5 through 17. Scroll it down for you all so you all can read it. Can you all see it? All right. Say something. Oh, I can't make it bigger. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe I can. Oh, learn something new every day. Look at the Isha. Your wives you need your wives, you all. Can you all see that better? I zoomed in a little more. That's better. All right. Chapter 6, verse 5. And it reads, sweet language will multiply friends, and a fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. Be in peace with many, nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000. Let's start with 5 real quick. So this is letting us know to be in peace, right? And what's interesting is when you look at the Tanakh, the Most High always told us when we was traveling through to lead with peace. Told us to lead with peace. But what are we doing today? I know that's a different subject, but it's the same concept. What are we leading with people who are outside of us? We're not leading with peace. It says pleasant speech multiplies friends, and a gracious tongue multiplies courtesies, right? Or will increase kind greetings, is what my version says. Be in peace with many, nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000. So this is letting you know, stop running everybody to telling your business. Stop running to everyone telling your business. Our women, and yes, our men too. Our men do it just as bad too. But stop doing that. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. That's why I don't even call everybody my akh. I know that might not be understood, but a person could be your brother and then stab you in the back right then and there. We was reading a story dealing with Absalom, right? Absalom, was that Absalom? Who was it Absalom? I think it was, right? 40 years waited. Absalom, right? 40 years before he came to oppose. 40. Now, I won't say that's going to be the case with everybody. That's an extreme, but I know it does and can happen. Because nowadays people they'll turn on you now, they'll turn you in a couple days, couple months, a year. 40 years is a very long time. But prove your friend. A lot of us, we call that's my sister, that's my brother, that's my friend, just after knowing them or meeting them one time, 2 times. See, this is what I was talking about earlier when I say, hey, we need to dive deep into the writings of our forefathers and understand some of these things. If we actually read it and applied it, we wouldn't go through half the stuff we're going through. We wouldn't go through getting something done bad to us by this brother that we thought was good, or getting something done bad to us from this sister that we thought was good, or this leader that we thought was good. You got to prove them. Everybody, nobody is exempt from being proved. Don't be so quick to credit somebody. Give them time. Let them show consistency, integrity, right? Their character. Let us see how long they can go. And like I said earlier, pressure will show you. That is the number one thing that will show you. Yo, let me put this on him. Let me do this to him. I bet you he'll change. That was heck of a pressure. Children being killed and all that stuff, but he still stayed strong. I don't care what the Christians are teaching about how Eob complained and stuff like that. You go to that very last chapter, the Most High tells those 3 men that was talking, which was actually 4 with them, but it was 3 men, grown elders. My servant Job said all things right. Y'all was the ones that did. Now, granted, he had to correct Job on certain things, but he was consistent even through the pressure. That's how you prove somebody. Look at how they move under pressure, not how they move when they're not pressured. Verse 8, for some man is a friend for his own occasion and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. They'll be gone when something happened to you. Some of you already witnessed this. Some of you already been through this. Some of you were these people.
That's the hard part.
Yes, some of us were, But I pray those that's listening now and us all here, we graduated from that. A lot of us were those people because we weren't taught. We weren't put in situations, practicing situations to where, or conflict resolution type stuff, things that can help us be prepared for those type of things. All right. Verse 9, and there's a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach. And again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. What did I say? 2 verse 17. But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself and will be bold over thy service. It's going to be like, it's almost, you're looking at yourself. He right there with everything that you're doing, because everything is great. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee and will hide himself from thy face. Soon as you drop, soon as something happened to you, now he gonna hide himself. He gonna be against you. He might be talking about you now. Oh, he wasn't never nothing. Or she might be talking about you. Oh, she wasn't never nothing, but utilized you all the way up until that point of them leaving. Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. A lot of us, we stay amongst our enemies. Why? We stay amongst our enemies. It's telling us to separate yourself from your enemies. Sometimes your enemies look just like you. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that has found such an oath have found a treasure. Nothing does countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Most High shall find him. If you ain't found you a friend or a person that you can trust, you might have to question yourself and your closeness with the Most High. That's what it's letting you know right now. If you are a person that say, I don't trust nobody, I ain't got nobody that I can trust, then you might have to reevaluate yourself. Whoso feareth the Most High shall direct his friendship aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. So this person that is trustworthy, this person that is invaluable, right? Super valuable, they're going to have or move in the same way that you move. Similarities. You all are going to have the basic or the basis of or foundation of how you all operate. I'm not saying agree on everything, but you're going to be like a mirror. People are going to see how you all operate, and they're going to say, okay, yeah, they move together. That's basically what it's saying right here. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Going to the next one. That's Adon Antoine says, so you don't keep your enemies close. According to what it's saying, I would say no. But I know what that saying means when they say keep your enemies close, right? It's just from my point of view, don't take your eye off of them. You take your eye off an enemy, then you're going to be more likely to get cut off yourself. It ain't saying be close friends with this person. I don't believe that's what it's saying. It's saying keep your eye on them. Okay, princess. I keep my eyes and ears open, right? Don't underestimate them. Okay. Told y'all, I was waiting for people to start commenting. You know how when you watching basketball and the crowd is cheering and stuff, it, pushes that player to dunk from the free throw line, All right, let's keep going. We're going to go to chapter 9. Going to go to chapter 9, starting in verse 1. So in chapter 6, just focus on controlling your environment. We got to always focus on controlling our environment. We have power to do that. It's not moving. I don't know why. Am I froze?
You're frozen.
Yeah, I'm froze. Can they hear me? Can you ask?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, I'm gonna keep talking there. I'm gonna keep talking. We're gonna go to chapter 9. My computer should stop doing what it's doing soon. All right, chapter 9. I don't have it on the screen, you all, so bear with me. Chapter 9, verse 1. So we're going to do 1 through 2, 6 through 9, 11 through 12, 14 through 18. Be not jealous over the wife of your bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. How are you teaching your... Now, I'm sure when people read this, it's going to be different schools of thought. Here's my school of thought and what it's saying. It says, be not jealous of thy wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. If you're being jealous of your wife, what does that teach her to be? Jealous of you, which will ultimately push her against you. It's kind of like when we were speaking on the subject with Dawid and Shaul. And Shaul was after him, wanting to kill him, right? But he did not lay a finger on him. Why? One is because he's the anointed of the Most High. But two is because if he did it, what message is he sharing to his soldiers? That he can be overthrown, that he can be killed, that we can just remove him if we don't like what he's saying. What does that have to do with this verse right here? It's the same concept. If you're teaching or you having this jealousy against your Isha, it's going to cause that same thing to be reciprocated to you. And now it's coming against you, which means you can't lead properly. She ain't going to listen to you. And it's going to cause disruption in your home. Right? And your house shall soon be overthrown. Let's keep going. Verse 2, give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance. Right? Give not your soul. So going back to what I was saying right there is you have to maintain your composure in leadership. You have to continue to do it, not just from word. You have to do it through your action. So you can't give away what it is that's supposed to be done within that household, which is you leading it. You have that leadership. Once you do that, then you're going to see imbalance. Things are going to start going lopsided. Everyone has their strengths. She has her strengths. That might be more than what you have to do in certain areas. And you have yours. And your strength is to be that leader overall. And if you give that up, there's a chance that things will not be balanced. And that's only because her role is her role and your role is your role. All right, let's jump down to 6. I hope they still hear me. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance. What is a harlot? Right? What is a harlot? Some say prostitute. Okay, that's a synonymous word in a sense. But give not your soul, your body to a harlot, that thou lose not thine inheritance. So it's a couple ways of looking at that. But the main inheritance is being of a servant of the Most High, right? So we need to operate within those commandments. Today, harlotry or prostitution is the same as back then, but it's also another form of it. And that form of it is when our women is not being married to this man. How can I prove what I'm saying? Think about it. We have a lot of our women that basically get with the man due to what he can provide. And there's nothing wrong with that from a sense of if you're married in a righteous way, but in this way, in a harlotry way, in a prostitution way, they are doing it to get this money. They're doing it to see what I can just get, but I don't want to give myself to him in a proper way. When you do that, you will you'll end up falling. Let's jump down to verse. Let's stay at 7. Look not around about thee in the streets of the city, neither wander thou in the solitary places thereof. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for wherewith or herewith love is kindled as a fire. I think I'm back. Am I back? Can I get some ones in the chat if you all can hear me? I just want to make sure. Are they on your end? Is the ones in the chat? Okay, I see a 1. I'll keep going. I don't know what's going on, you all. So turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman. It's not telling you not to get married or want a marriage with a beautiful woman. It's not telling you that, right? For many have been deceived by beauty. Don't let that be the focal point. Don't let that be your main focus. A lot of our men, we do that. That's the main focus. And now things happen and we say we didn't know. Some of us ignore what we did know. That focus should not be that. We're going to read about that a little later too. All right. So verse 9. Sit not at all with another man's wife. That's a tough one for a lot of people, it seems. people look at me like I'm crazy when I don't hug another man's wife. Be quite frankly, I don't even hug our sisters at all. But they look at me like I'm crazy when I don't do that. It says, sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her. Right? And so through thy desire, thou fall into destruction. We see that often today. And it's simply because we think it's cool to just be, that's like me. I'm just going to use an example here. That's like me if I'm over there, I'm talking to Princess or something, and Prince has no idea, my Isha has no idea, and I'm sitting there drinking wine and stuff with her. We don't supposed to do that. There's people that do that. We communicate here, and we don't sit. I'm not sitting, because anything can happen, you all. Anything can happen. Even if you are not doing anything, rumors can happen. You want to keep a good name, and it helps maintain the community. Even if you're not a part of the community, it just helps maintain the name of Yisrael. It helps maintain who we're supposed to be. Being with another man's wife can cause you to get killed, murdered, off with your head, depending on what type of man that you're dealing with. So we got to keep that in mind. It's telling you not to sit with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in your arms. Don't spend money with her, buying her wine and stuff like that. Now, you end up drinking with her, anything can happen. Anything can happen. All right, let's jump down to 11. Hold on, let's pull this up. I want to pull up what Bayeeth Ma'azahn said. I like what she brought out. She said there's people who have secret wives, and that can cause a man to sin because he knows not. Okay, let's run with that, right? I love that she brought that out. So this man has a secret wife, right? So that means the wife knows that she's a secret. And that causes a man to sin because he knows not. Here's the issue with that. If this woman is a secret wife, which I don't condone that at all, you all. That's not. But I want to bring a different added perspective. If this woman is a secret wife, that means she knows that she's a quote unquote secret wife. If she messes around with another man, knowing that she's a secret wife, then she's in the wrong. I don't believe in having a secret wife. I don't believe in that at all. That's the problem with us today. We have so many schools of thoughts. We have so many different ways that men believe they should move with wives. This is why I'm real big on community and having structured rules as to how we should move, right? And that's what makes it problematic. So her scenario that she brought out is a very unfortunate scenario. It's a very true scenario. It's a scenario that I do not agree with either. I mean, I agree with her, but I don't agree that should be done, that scenario. The only piece that's within that scenario that is another wrong is the fact that if this woman is a secret wife and she ends up sleeping around with someone else, that puts her in the wrong as well at that point. Because now this man that slept with her that did not know, as you brought out, Bayeeth Ma'azahn, that did not know, has committed a sin due to her committing the sin, knowing that she was a secret wife. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Hopefully you all understood what I was trying to bring out in that. Again, I don't agree with it. That's not what I'm saying. But the fact that if she knows she's a secret wife, she should not be sleeping with nobody else. All right, let's keep going. Where am I at? Verse 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, But remember, they shall not go unpunished unto their grave. All right, and this is a great passage or scripture, however you want to put it, because we see this today. We see many of us wanting the same things or getting upset that these individuals who are ungodly, right, meaning not doing the ways in which we're supposed to be moving, we get jealous. We're getting jealous of them because we secretly want to do that. It's telling us not to do that. Think of the ways of your ancestors. Think of the ways in which we're supposed to be doing in this tonight. Right? All right. Verse 12. Delight not in the okay, I read that. Let's go down to verse 14. As near as thou canst, guess at thy neighbor and consult with the wise. Right? Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High. It says, let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High. I think in the other translation, it tells you to sit only amongst the wise, right? Have to eat with the wise, right? We shouldn't be just sitting and on a daily and things of that nature with someone that we know that's ungodly and not righteous. Why do I say that? I say that because it's a school of thought that teaches that you friends, and these are the only 5 friends that you have, and all 5 of them are this way, a certain type of way. The 9 times out of 10, if that's the only person you're around, you're going to end up being or doing the things that they're doing. So the encouragement, the suggestion, the advice that's being said right here is to tell you to not surround yourself among them. That's right, Princess. Surround yourself with like-minded or better minds. It doesn't mean to not be a light to them. It does not mean when you come around them to flee. That's not what it's saying. But it's also not saying to make them buddy-buddy. You got to choose wisdom, and you got to decide which one you're going to do. My suggestion is not to make that your pattern. All right. Verse 17. For the hand of the artificer, I don't even know if I said that word right. The work shall be commended, and the wise ruler of the people for his speech. A man of an ill tongue is dangerous in his city, and he that is rash in his talk shall be hated. Why is this important? This is when balance comes in. It said a man of an ill tongue is dangerous. That means he can destroy more than he can help. We got to be careful how we speak when we're dealing with someone or dealing with people, because our ultimate goal is to help, right? It's to provoke thought, constructive thought. So we have to be conscious of our speech, of our constant speech, right? And it also says, and he that has rash in his talk shall be hated. Some people don't care if they're liked or hated when it comes to it. When speaking with individuals, and for the most part, sometimes it's needed for people to just speak in that manner. But the goal is to teach and win individuals. It's always going to be only a remnant of a remnant. We understand that, but the goal should be to get to the people as much as you can. And sometimes it means that you have to understand the people that you're dealing with. You got to understand that a lot of us have different personalities. A lot of us are sensitive to speech. A lot of us are not as strong as we should be. So it's letting us know to be careful with our words. And with that, I yield with this chapter. Any questions? Any questions? Oh, man, I see you all still talking about this. Oh, man. And rightfully so. Nashim, ladies, rightfully so. You asked my Ishai, we had our contractual covenant agreement and witnesses, but you know, I just wanted to pinpoint we have to be balanced though. We got to be balanced. So, in what she brought out, secret, it shouldn't be a secret. No secrets. I agree 100%. But in context of what she brought out that the man will end up sleeping with a woman that is secretly married, which means that woman is sleeping with another man with that man not knowing. So the balance part in the statement that she brought out is it shouldn't be a secret. I teach that all the time. But the other side and what she brought out was the man will end up sinning and not knowing because that woman slept with him. So it was some wickedness on her side as well. We got to be balanced. Any questions before we go to the next chapter, y'all? Any questions? Told our princess on that. Very strong lesson. All of these things is geared towards the house not being overthrown, you all. And that secret, like she's saying, that's going to cause the house to be overthrown, by the way. That's going to cause a house to be overthrown. So, okay, Gaber Sharon. That's true. That's why the part I was trying to bring out. All right, let's go ahead and go to chapter 10.
Hey, Roche.
Okay.
Before you move on, will you address Sister Sharon's comment?
Okay, I just yeah, she said, but then if she knows she is betrothed or married, the sin does fall upon her head. That was exactly what I was bringing out. It falls on her. She was in a secret marriage. Now, here's the thing. This is the part that I'm talking about, you all. Let me just try to be as real as possible, which I've been trying to do, period. But let me let you all know something. The problem today, and the problem that all you women and men are facing, is that we're not getting involved with structure. We're not getting involved with any rules. Well, there are communities that we've been a part of or went, and they was wicked. Yes, why was they wicked? Because they themselves or them themselves didn't have structure and rules. Everyone was doing what they wanted. So the problem that we having with this subject that she brought out, which was a beautiful subject, is that if you don't have structure and rules that men need to abide by, they're going to move how they want to if it does not go against Torah. This is why I'm bringing out Sirach. This is why I'm telling you all we need to write our own rules to be attached to the Tanakh, so that it is no loopholes that men and or women can do. And if they don't want to abide by it, they gotta go. They cannot be a part of it. The stuff that you all are facing, that we all are facing, is because we are not moving culturally. We do not believe in this book like we claim we do. And if we do believe in it, we don't have the proper leadership that's going to put in structure in place to where we all can agree to abide by, so that these things that she brought out won't happen. They won't be no secret wives. From my point of view, my school of thought, but it still is at the what's the word I'm looking for? It's the prerogative of that man if he has no structure and no accountability. And if you decide to get with that man, knowing that they don't have any accountability, knowing that they have no structure, no leadership over them, unfortunately, this is the stuff that can happen. I hope we beat this enough. Oh my goodness, you all not gonna let me finish this, but I'm gonna bring it out, Prince. Gabriel, I know Antoine said it's not sex marriage, that is part of marriage. In our culture, you have to have more than that. And I would love anybody that has anything to say to it. We can talk and build on it. It's more involved than just sex. A man can say, I'm married to you, and have sex and then be done with you tomorrow, because there's no leadership, no accountability, no consequences, Nothing in place. Nothing in place. So that's my answer to that. And I could prove it through scriptures too, by the way. What would be a reason for a secret marriage? I don't have a reason. I don't know if Prince wants to speak on it. It's a lot of go ahead, Prince. You got something to say?
A lot of males are scared of their women. So instead of being a man about it, saying, I want another wife, they'll sneak around and do it on the side. They have a whole family on the side, but never confront their first Isha that they have another family. A lot of males are afraid of the women or the community or the people that they're involved with owning up to be a man. So they'll sneak into it. And that's what's called a secret marriage.
Okay. This is a rabbit hole conversation.
Can
You
I
want to
say
know why? Okay. Go ahead.
I'm like seeing what Sister Aisha is saying, and I see what Sister Sharon's saying. I agree with both of them. But I think what Sister Sharon brought out is she was just trying to, I guess, because a lot of times we want to blame, and this happens, we'll blame a man for making a move, but if he don't know, right? But then I was saying, when you're married and you make a vow with that man, or you come under his head, his covering, his lead, he could tell you, don't tell nobody that you're married to me. And I feel like that just leads her, that's just a gateway for her to become a sinner, become a liar, sneak around. Because from a woman, if a woman if I'm being kept a secret, and then a man is coming along and he wants to not keep me a secret, but I've been vowed to be kept a secret by this man, whether a woman does it or not, just speaking from a woman, a righteous woman who just going to be transparent, she's not going to be faithful to that man who asked her to be kept a secret. Not for long anyway. Like, just being truthful. She might follow it for a little bit, might feel good, whatever. But at the end, she's not, because no woman wants to be a secret, especially if she's married to a man of some type of dignitary, has a whatever, title, whatever, or even if it's not a title, but because a woman wants to be known like, this is my man. She wants to be able to brag about it, walk hand in hand with him, all of that. So eventually she's not going to follow his lead. And then she's going to and he's teaching her to break the Most High's laws, because he's going against the Most High and his secrecy and his deception. So it's so many things that are going to be led wrong, from a man pursuing her to her not telling a man, or her pursuing a man, the man who's teaching her. So many things are wrong. But it happens today in Israel because women are taught not to have a voice. Women are taught that if a man tells you what to do, you just got to do it. And that's it, on anything and everything. And so I think that's certain lessons that have to be taught about. Of course, nobody can tell anybody how to lead their house. But I believe that there is lack of training, lack of understanding when it comes to men, and saying that they are leaders, but they have not been taught properly. They're just grabbing women because somebody told them, hey, you're a man, you could go have a wife because you got a house or you got a car or whatever it is you may have. But they didn't teach them how to be a man to that wife. And then if they're not ready to actually be a husband, then they're going to lead her on in secrecy or without secrecy, but definitely in secrecy. And she's going to do whatever, because she's not going to be loyal to him, because he's not being loyal to her by keeping her a secret. So,
well, in all that you're saying, you got to bear in mind that that's not a man.
I agree.
That's a male.
Mm-hmm.
A male is a gender, or a boy. But it's not a man, because men operate different from males.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you earn the title of being a brother, you also have to earn the title of being a male. I mean, a man. Just because you're in age don't make you a man. Your character is what makes you a man. And real men do not just have secret women on the side and the community don't know, where they done married and having intercourse with these women. Real men are not afraid of their women. They're not afraid of their community. They're not afraid of anybody's opinion. They're going to let the people know because it's transparency needed in this nation.
Okay.
There should be no such thing as a secret life. Males do that, not men. Thank you. But that was a great conversation. Sister brought it out. And I thought it was worthy of us having conversation about. And Roche, thank you for bringing it out as well, bro. May the Most High be praised.
I do want to end the conversation with this. This is the main reason why I brought this lesson out. This is the main reason why I'm talking about a solidified structure and literature, because no matter who the fault is, which it is, it falls on the man, right? The problem is, as Princess said, as I alluded to earlier as well, that training portion is being us teaching each other from youth. A lot of us are coming in this walk and we're moving without any type of knowledge of this culture. And we're believing anything that's told to us. That goes for women in this subject, and that goes for men as well. We have to start build a different foundation. We have to stop moving so quickly. That goes for men and women. But a lot of us aren't taught it. So it causes us, as I've been saying in previous teachings, that it causes us to have a disdain over this matter, and also maybe not even see the point that's being brought out because of all the stuff we've seen and been through. The very point that I'm trying to bring out in this is that we have to build structure. We have to be willing to want to have structure too. We cannot choose only certain subjects that we want to see we need in, but structure and other things. And all of this stuff applies. So I agree wholeheartedly with everything that has been brought out by everyone here. I just encourage to consider that other side as well, because it's going to keep happening. Most people we know that's on this walk are not moving in that manner, in the manner that we're reading, not the righteous manners, I should say. They're not moving in it. So with that, I'm going to yield on this topic, and maybe we can have a whole topic of this another time on this matter and see what we can come to the drawing board. Because now it's like, okay, what's the core? We know the problems. We know what's happening. What are we going to do to change it? What are we going to put in place so that people can, and we're working on it actually over here, by the way, but it's going to be up to the people to want to do it. We have let's keep going, you all. Let's keep going. Chapter 10. Any more questions? Any more comments? I don't know why I'm froze. Hopefully, y'all can see me. Toda, Geberet Kaza. Toda. All glory to the Most High. Pray the Most High continue to show us how we should be and hold us accountable, Sirach chapter 10, verse 12. Let's go. I don't see any hands or anything. Verse 12. All right. The beginning of human pride is to forsake the Most High. The heart has withdrawn from its master. Why is the beginning of human pride, it says, right? That's arrogance. The arrogance will cause us to forsake what the Most High has put down or inspired and encouraged, commanded those men and women before us to do. We think that we know more than those before us. that's going to cause us to forsake. That has caused us to forsake. We'll sit up here and say, that marriages was better back then. Marriages was better in the early 1900s, mid 1900s, and the response will be, well, that's because women couldn't do anything. That will be the response. Is it the right response? Is it true? It could be. Is it not true? Could be. The people that I know in my family who had a marriage until the father, grandfather died and all that, they didn't say those things. I don't know. But it's saying the beginning of human pride is to forsake the Most High. The heart has withdrawn from its maker. For the beginning of pride is sin. Right? For the beginning of pride is sin. And the one who clings to it pours out abominations. Therefore, the Most High brought upon them unheard of calamities and destroyed them completely. How many of us have been children and our parents taught us stuff, told us to do certain things, and we did not do it because we thought we knew more than them? Our pride, our arrogance got in the way, and then a lot of stuff, calamity, happened to us. Things that they warned us about because they was laying the law down for us, giving us instructions that we didn't want to do it. A lot of times the stuff that happens to us because we ignore the signs that was there. And we prefer to do what it is that is opposite of that sign. I know that to be true because that was me as well. Ain't nothing new in the sun, underneath the sun as to what us as adults go through 9 times out of 10. The signs be there. And then now we have calamities that has happened due to us. And not all of it, actually. I'm just saying, but a lot of stuff that we can prevent, it be because we go against what we see. The Most High overthrew the thrones of rulers or princes and enthroned the lowly in their place. My translation says princes. This translation says rulers. The Most High overthrew the thrones of them and enthroned the lowly in their place. A lot of leaders that have failed, kings, whoever, anybody that was in leadership, is because they lacked humility, mostly. Couldn't control their urges. All of these things. And that position can be fulfilled or filled with someone that is humble, does have humility. The Most High plucked up the roots of the nations and destroyed them to the foundation of the earth. He removed some of them and destroyed them and erased the memory of them from the earth. Pride was not created for human beings, it says. Verse 18 of my book says, let's see what mine says. Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. It's not what it was made for, but it was created due to our surroundings. What was pushed on us, the lack of a structure and righteous community. We don't suppose to have this arrogance about us. We're supposed to be about each other. We're supposed to be about our women. We're supposed to be about the men. We're supposed to be about the children. But once that pride or that arrogance come, now you end up destroying all of that. A lot of us here can see that. A lot of us here have went through that. What arrogance does, how it can destroy a nation, how it can destroy communities. We don't want that here. We can't have that here. And as long as us that is on this panel is here, it should not happen. Because we have some great individuals here with good character and integrity. And we know how to talk with one another. And we know how to be humble. Verse 17, he removed some of them and destroyed them, and already read that. Verse 19. Verse 19 says, they that fear the Most High are a sure seed. I'm reading my translation. And they have loved, they that love him, an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Right? The law, the instructions, all of it matters, not just some of it. So if we are disregarding some of the most important things, which is dealing with interaction with one another, interpersonal relations with one another, if we're pushing that to the side, then are we really honoring the Most High's law? Are we really a sure seed of the Most High? Verse 20, among brethren, he that is a leader is honorable. So are they that fear the Most High in his eyes. The fear of the Most High goes before the obtaining of authority. The roughness and pride is the losing thereof. Right? It says, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof. So it's letting us know that we need to have a certain approach, right? Whether he be rich, noble, or poor, their glory is in the Most High. It is not meet to despise the poor man that hath understanding, neither is it convenient to magnify a sinful man. Great men and judges and potentates shall be honored, yet is there none of them greater than he that feareth the Most High. That's the part I was bringing out earlier, verse 24. Let me see what it says in this. The prince and the judge and the ruler are honored, but none of them is greater than the one who fears the Most High. None of these leaders, none of us leaders, especially if we don't fear the Most High, right, are greater than anyone else that fears the Most High. We may have more responsibility. We may have to move a certain way. We read that all through with the priests and things of that nature, high priests, and how he has to move a certain way and things of that nature. We have certain responsibilities that differ. But as far as serving the Most High, that should all be in the same level. All right, any questions? We're going to go to the next. It's 1:12. I'm trying to speed it up a little bit. Y'all got me afraid to go to the the one book, but I'm gonna show you it's talking about, or the chapter is talking about actually someone that is wicked. All right, verse 11. Chapter 11, verse 1. The wisdom of the humble lifts their heads high and seats them among the great. My translation said, wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of low decree, and maketh him to sit among great men. Right? Let's jump down to verse 7. Do not find fault before you investigate. Examine first and then criticize. Do not answer before you listen. And do not interrupt when another is speaking. Do not argue about a matter that does not concern you. And do not sit with sinners when they judge a case. Why is this important? How are sinners judging this case? Because sinners are more than likely building and presenting a false report. Right? You can't be a sinner and judging something properly. Because our law, our instruction teaches us to judge something properly, which will make it righteous if we're doing it in a balanced manner. It also says, going back, don't before you investigate, do not fall fault before you investigate. How many of us fall victim of that? How many of us do not examine first and do not and criticize before we do any of that? How many of us answer before we even hear it? These things are going to be things that's going to break up. It's going to cause our household to be overthrown. soon, and we've seen it. We can't do that here. We shouldn't do that in Yisrael at all. But this is what it's telling us. Okay, let's jump down to 11. Verse 11. There is one that laboreth and taketh pains and maketh haste, and is so much the more behind. Again, there is another that is slow and have need of help, wanting ability, and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Most High looked upon him for good and set him up from his low state. Right? A lot of us are going through these things. I wasn't supposed to go there, but I'm gonna still use it. A lot of us are going through certain things, but if we remain faithful with the Most High and continue to move how we're supposed to move, then He can and will, if it's in His will, bring us out of that low state. All right, let's jump down to 29 through 34. 29 through 34. Hopefully you all are seeing this. This one is important, you all. Do not invite everyone into your home. It goes back to what we was talking about earlier. Everyone's calling people friends off of knowing them just off one day, a week, right? A month. And people are inviting people into their home, and they have not tried them, right? They have not proved them. For many are tricks of the crafty, like a decoy, patriots in the cage. So is the mind of the proud. And like spies, they observe your weakness. A lot of us are not sincere. A lot of us are not just here to build, right? Here to cause a community to thrive. A lot of people are just not trying to see you benefit or you grow. They want to see your weaknesses. So they lie in wait, turning good into evil, right? The things that you're doing as well, they're going to share the things that's they feel is wrong, or add to it, make you look what you look badder than you are, right? Or worse than you are. And to worthy actions, things that actually are good, they attach blame. From a spark, many coals are kindled, and a sinner lies in wait to shed blood. It's telling you, it's calling this individual a sinner. They're waiting to shed blood. They're waiting to destroy you. They're waiting to make you look like you're just evil. That's someone that's sinning. Beware of scoundrels, for they devise evil. They're coming up with plans, right? Put up people against you. Things of these nature, that nature, we don't want them a part of us. You can't just think because somebody is a Hebrew that they're your friend, that they should be amongst us, that they should be a part of this community, or part of a community, or part of your close circle. Watch them. And they may ruin your reputation forever. One person that you pick can cause many to look at your reputation as horrible. And a lot of us see it, have witnessed it, or been through it. And it even goes into the conversation we just had. But we're not being intentional. And for some of us, it's I mean, you know, we could feel, you know, and I can agree, it's not technically our fault. We're not being taught properly. We're trying our best to do the right thing. We're literally trying the best to do the right thing. But we just got to be more patient. 34, receive strangers into your home, and they will stir up trouble for you and will make you a stranger to your own family. Let's stop right there. We're going to go to the next. Any questions on this chapter? Any comments? If I may ask, what are other ways to prove people other than going through adversity? You shouldn't have to go through adversity when you're proving people. We go through adversity because we did not prove people. for the most part. We go through adversity with individuals because we did not prove people. So the question was, what are other ways to prove people other than going through it? The answer is actually within the question. A lot of the things that happened to us because we didn't. We got under this leader because he spoke well. We got under this elder woman because she was respected by so many people. You know, they was friends with her. We didn't do any background check. We didn't see it in the consistency of how their character and their integrity was. We didn't ask no friends or no close friends or close family, or we didn't sit for a minute before going under their leadership. These are different steps. But we're not thinking about it in that moment. Right? Even with the conversation we had about the woman that was in a secret marriage, you know, man, one of the biggest ways is for understanding that is just reading the scripture. The righteous men that was in the scripture, that they marry these women secretly. But sometimes I get it, you know, our women, they and men, you know, they want to be married. They're moving a certain way, and they know that they should be married or want to be married and things like that. So it's like certain questions are not thought about. Certain things aren't thought about. Certain things aren't even thought to be viewed. So the best ways, in my opinion, as I've been trying to say, is to have accountability. Um, have leadership that they also have accountability. I would never put myself under leadership or even try to be a leader over anyone if I don't have someone that can um, um, hold me accountable. Right? Is adversity similar to when they are put under pressure in the sense of proving a friend? It depends on that question because, like earlier, I said something about if a person, you know, you will really get to see a person how they function under pressure. So I don't think that's how you're asking it. Um, so maybe you could say, you know, expound on what you mean. Pray to the Most High and wait patience. Don't ignore the red flags. Take them seriously. That's like the number one thing. If you don't have leadership or anybody to hold accountable or teach you the right way, a lot of us, we have the sense. We see red flags, but we ignore it because our desire, we truly just want to be married. We truly just want this or whatever the subject is to take place. We really want that. So I'm going to move that to the side. That's what happens. I'm sure everybody that's under the sound of my voice right now, or those that's present, has went through that. What I just said, we ignored it, and then we had to learn our lesson, like you just said. All right. If there's no more questions, let's go ahead and go to chapter 12. Only got 7 verses in chapter 12. And I'm probably going to have to continue. I had a couple more to go through, but it's 123. There was some good ones too coming up. All right. Chapter 12, verse 1. And it says, when thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest good. Oh man, that's a powerful chapter right here, you all. This kind of answers Zakana Cecilia's question in a sense. I believe. Maybe it doesn't, but I kind of believe it. When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil. Right? Are we putting ourselves around or putting ourselves in the right situations that's not viewed as evil to this Tanakh? to our laws, to the Most High. And help not a sinner. That's a tough one right there. This is saying, help not a sinner. Do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Now, I want to say this, because Prince asked a question earlier about if someone's doing it unknowingly, right? It's saying don't help a sinner. Again, this sinner is someone that's practicing. This sinner is someone that's purposely doing this, not repenting. And we're going to see why I'm saying that. But give not to the ungodly, hold back thy bread, and give it thereby, for thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good you shalt have done unto him. Right? It's letting you know you got to pick and understand who you want to help and do good for. They teach you to do good to everybody, but it's some people that's going to misuse you, that's going to put you in a place where you just did not predict. For the Most High hated sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Give unto the good, and help not the sinner. That's it for that chapter. What's y'all thoughts on that?
Hey, Roche. Could you read verse 3? It's a part
no good comes to one who persists in evil, or to one who does not give alms.
And that alms.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, that alms family is people who give charity. People who gives a portion of their income to help someone else to come up. And there's a lot of us that fall victim in that portion right there. There's a lot of us who have no need, no care, no desire to help someone other than ourselves, someone less fortunate, or give back to the works of the Creator. There's they talk about that tithing thing, and you know how we feel about tithing. We understand the true principles of it. But that don't mean you don't give nothing. That don't mean you turn your back and don't do anything to the worthy causes that's uplifting the Creator's name. I just thought that that portion should be spoken, elaborate on a little bit. I relinquished the mic to the Ramon.
Kane, love what you said. Love what you said, definitely. I think it's important, as it's telling you, for those that are good. We got to keep that in mind. And good can be subjective. I understand that. But this good has to be according to the righteousness of what our culture, our literature, our laws is talking about. That's what that good is speaking of. All right, 4 verses in chapter 16. I think this one is interesting. And this is hard for a lot of people, but we need to understand what it's about to say. Verse 1 says, do not desire a multitude of worthless children. It says, do not desire a multitude of worthless children. A lot of us want children. What causes them to be worthless according to this? These are children that are disobedient to what's put in place. Right? These laws of the Most High is what we're supposed to be doing. But worthless children will be, okay, I just want to have children for the sake of it. And I'm not teaching them anything. I'm not teaching them responsibility. I'm not teaching them how to be respectful to the elders. I'm not teaching them how to build for their community. Right? I'm not teaching them any of these things. Right? And do not rejoice in ungodly offspring. I don't really use these words like that. I'm just reading it. If they multiply, do not rejoice in them unless the fear of the Most High is in them. That's when we rejoice. Right? Now, what's interesting is, wait a minute. So you're telling me not to rejoice and love my children? That's not what's being said here. That's not what's being said here. But we got to understand the reason why it's saying what it's saying. And it's going to explain it in verse 4. Let's keep going. Verse 3. Do not trust in their survival or rely on their numbers, right? For one can be better than 1,000. And to die childless is better to have ungodly children. It's better than having ungodly children. For through one intelligent person, a city can be filled with people. But through a clan of outlaws, it becomes desolate. If we're not training and teaching children, I mean, literally teaching the principles of the Torah from a standpoint of how to treat one another, right? All the great laws is good, but I'm talking about how to treat one another, how to truly serve the Most High or love the Most High, right? But treating one another, if we don't treat one another a certain way, that's how these communities that we know of is being destroyed. A lot of us are worthless. We're not doing nothing adding to our community. We're not adding. We're destroying. We're destroying our women. We're destroying our young boys that's supposed to turn into men. We have created worthless individuals. We ourselves may have been worthless individuals until the Most High gave us a spirit of understanding, as we have read earlier. But we got to keep working at it. We can't think that, okay, I'm good. I don't have to keep growing. Because when you get to that point, that's when you become worthless. You're not bringing anything new to the people and to the community. You're not bringing anything that's going to help us thrive. That's what it's talking about. All right. I only got 2 more spots to go to, so let's keep going. Any questions before I go to the next chapter? Anything in the chat? Let's see. All right. Let's keep going. Chapter 19, so likely. All right, I'm gonna start at 2. Chapter 2, verse 2, then we're gonna do 5 through 6. Verse 8, and then 18 through 20. Verse 2, wine and women lead intelligent men astray, and a man who consorts with prostitutes is reckless. Okay, so let me start here before we go to, because chapter 19 and 25, or 19 and these couple of verses, 19 and 26, can seem tough. Let's do this. The Tanakh, when you think of the Tanakh, you all, who is the Tanakh mostly talking about when it comes to wickedness? Can someone give me an answer in the chat or verbally speaking? Off mute. Anybody? Nobody? Am I froze? All right.
No, you know.
All right. So the Tanakh is mainly talking about, when you're talking about wickedness, things of that nature, it's truly attached to our men. It's truly attached to the leaders. We have a couple instances where the scripture points directly to women. In this particular thing, it's talking about a woman in this verse, and then the next chapter I'm going to go to is going to break down a wicked woman. But in the Tanakh, and I'm bringing this out for a reason, because, I know it's touchy situation and touchy subjects, but I need you all to understand that we got to be balanced across the board. Okay. And the whole point of this is a house shall soon be overthrown if these things are not put in place. So yes, your answer, Geber Autumn, is right. It is Yisrael. But the main things that you see when the Most High was dealing with the people of our people was men getting cut off, men getting destroyed because of the evilness that we were doing within our people, and the influence that we were bringing on our people. I say that to bring balance here, because when I read this out, if you are not able to know that, if you are not able to see that, then you might view this as an attack, and it's not an attack. But let's keep going. Verse 2, wine and women lead intelligent men astray, and the man who consorts with prostitutes is reckless, right? You should not let wine overtake you. You should not let women overtake you that are not a part of this culture, that does not have a desire and a love for the Most High, that is not striving for righteousness. Striving. You're going to mess up, you all. Men and women are going to mess up. But it's telling us that we should not strive towards women that aren't doing that. Most definitely not prostitutes. And the man who consorts with prostitutes is reckless. How are you reckless? Because it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your mental, the way you think, and then it's going to affect your home. And it's going to push you further and further away from the Most High. Verse 5, one who rejoices in wickedness will be condemned, but one who hates discussion lacks understanding. A lot of us don't like to speak about certain things. These things being one of them. These hard topics, we don't like it. We don't know how to remove and look at the balance, look at it in a balanced way. And for that, we end up lacking the understanding that we need to overcome and to succeed in the problem that we're having, or the subject that we're having, or that we're complaining about, rightfully so, but complaining about. So we need to have these discussions. All right. That was verse 6. Let's go down to 8. With friend or we could still read 7. Never repeat a conversation and you will lose nothing at all. With friend or foe, do not report it. And unless it will be a sin for you not to reveal it. So it's basically telling you, stop spreading rumors. Stop spreading everybody's information unless it's something that is going to be a sin that needs to be brought out. All right. Let's jump down to 18. Verse 18, I should say. I got to read it from this book. I don't know why it doesn't have 18 on here. All right. 19 and 18. It says, the fear of the Most High is the first step to be accepted, and wisdom obtaineth his love. The knowledge of the commandments of the Most High is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. The fear of the Most High is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law. That's the part I wanted to bring out. It's the performance, the action, not the speech, not the accolades of what you can do, but it's the actions of how you are moving consistently, not only just in what could be seen, but even with your thoughts. That's just my opinion on that part, right? We got to control our thoughts because that normally, and for the most part, dictates how we move. All right. Let's go to 25. We can hold the questions. You all have any questions while I'm going to 25? All right. Verse 1, 25, verse 1 through 2, 21 through 22, and then 25 through 26. Verse 1, I take pleasure in 3 things, and they are beautiful in the sight of the Most High and also of mortals, basically, right? Agreement among brothers and sisters. That's what we've been talking about this whole time. We need to come up with agreements, structure, instructions, things of that nature. Friendships among neighbors, and wife and husband who live in harmony. That harmony most times is birthed due to those instructions, right? And those agreements that was put in place. A lot of these people that are husband and wives that we fall and we break is because we did not honor an agreement was even made. No agreement was even made. We just did it. Verse 2, I hate three kinds of people, and I loathe their manner of life. Right? Let me see what verse 2 says in what was that? 25. I don't like this translation. And I am greatly offended at their life. A poor man that is proud, a rich man that is a liar, and an old adulterer, who lacks sense. You gotta lack sense if you're being an adulterer, right? But a poor man who boasts, a rich man who lies, and an adulterer who lacks sense. All these things is kind of just basically telling them that this arrogance needs to subside. We need to remove it because it'll cause you doing things that makes no sense. Why is a poor man boasting? What do you have to boast about? All right. Let's go down to 21. Do not be ensnared by a woman's beauty, and do not desire a woman of her passions. There is wrath and impudence and great disgrace when a wife supports her husband. Let me read my version so you can understand what it's actually saying. And it says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure.
I think Roche is he'll be returning shortly. I think this is a very good conversation. He's going to clear up the discrepancy from what we're reading in verse 21. Does not ensnare a woman's beauty, and do not desire a woman for her possessions. There is wrath, and that's not the one. 21, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Back.
21 and 22. Let me explain what it's actually saying. This is why what it's basically saying is this. So when you look at our time today, and still hear me? Can they still hear me?
I would ask for them to put ones.
Can you all put ones in the chat?
Yeah, we hear you, Roche.
All right, cool. So this isn't okay. Let's remove all the women here and just like really think of this. If you have a woman today, for the most part, that's not in our walk, when they are the breadwinners of the home, normally, and if this man is not doing or according to what she wants him to do or need to be doing or thinks that he should do, does she lose respect for him? Are we seeing that? Are we seeing that today? Does that make sense? I want the women to respond to let me know if I'm not making sense to them. I want the women here to respond. If you can, Barakasha, please. Okay. What it's basically telling you is get your stuff in order. If you allow the woman to maintain you, right, then she will lose respect for you. Because it is our job. We're supposed to, right? No respect equals disrespect. We're supposed to be the one to protect in all ways, right? We're supposed to be carrying our load. We're supposed to be making sure that you're good financially, mentally, and spiritually. But if you're the one maintaining all of that and we're not doing that, this is what it's speaking of right here. 21 through 22, verse chapter 25. This is what it's speaking of right here. Right? A woman, if she maintains her husband, is full of anger. She's stressed. She begins to be angry, stressed, impudence, and that's what it's speaking. Okay.
How about verse 22? Roche, are you present? All right. When he comes back, we're going to ask that he explains verse 22. But if you think about it, what he just explained would apply in 22 as well, but flip the verse. There is wrath and independence, impudence, and great disgrace when a wife supports her husband. Sometimes I think we read these things and they be mistranslated. Strong?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? I'm talking through my Ishak computer right now.
All right. Then we stopped off on verse 22. You want to explain that portion?
You all didn't hear 22?
No. You might want to read it from both books because the translation you had up didn't make much sense.
They responded to me when I read 22. I'll do it again.
That was 21.
No, I read 22. A woman, if she maintains her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. So that was in regards to when I was saying that if you are covering all the bills, if you are maintaining the house and or your husband from a spiritual and a mental standpoint, you begin as the woman to be frustrated, angry, right? I'm not saying this as I am a woman. I'm saying this because I have counseled people, women that have said this, right? And I also have a lot of women in my family that speak on this. So it is our job as the men that's supposed to take that pressure off of them. We're supposed to be the cover you in your spiritual aspect, your mental aspect, and your physical aspect, so it could take that pressure off. So for those women that maintain this is what he's telling them not to do. You do not want your woman to maintain you in this regard. Does that make sense now?
Okay.
All righty. All right, I'm back. I have been gone this whole time. All right. It is 1:46. We're going to continue later. I'm gonna read one last chapter and verse, and I'll come back and we'll continue. And you all see where I'm going with the part 2 to this. But chapter 27, verse 3, it says this: unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Most High, his house shall soon be overthrown. All of these things that I have brought out today is to help a man that has his household to move in a way to where the house will not be overthrown. That comes with individuals outside of your home, making sure you're dealing with the right individuals, right? Also within your home, we talked about children, we talked about wives, we talked about the man himself. And if you are a woman that's not married, then that's a different topic that we'll have to go into, which we have spoke on a lot during a lot of these lessons. But in regards to some of the things that was said about a woman, we would have to break that down. Even the next chapter that I was going to go into, it talks about a good wife and a bad wife or whatnot, whatever verbiage you want to use. All of these are conversations that has to be happening. We need to be able to take the good and the bad, as long as it's being produced or presented in a way that is not harsh. I know as men, when they teach, a lot of them teach harshly, and it closes your ears from hearing, even if it's truth. This goes for the men as well. So that's why I asked that question about the Tanakh. The Tanakh is geared towards men mostly about the evilness and the wickedness, right? But there is moments we have to talk about when we're talking about children and we're talking about the women as well. And with that, I yield. We just want to make sure we be intentional so that our house is not lost or overthrown, whether it's collectively or individually. Shalom.
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah. Great lesson. All right, family. At this time, we want to know if there's any questions or comments for Rosh, so he can give you a greater understanding, so that you won't be leaning on your own understanding, but he will try to elaborate exactly what it meant. If you're confused, or if you think you understand, you might want to state what you understand, just so that he can correct it if it's not correct. It may be that you fully understood, everything that was presented today. But if you present it to him in the way in which you understand, and maybe he can explain yes, no, or even add more to it to bring better understanding to you. May the Most High be praised. Or any questions or comments, family? And also for those, you have the floor, Maura.
Shalom. I just want to make a comment. It was a powerful lesson, and I think that we need more lessons like this that are telling our young men, older men, and any lesson with Yisrael is pretty much for all of Yisrael. Whether you're a woman or you're a man, you can learn this for your sons, and you can learn it especially for your daughters if you have daughters or when you have daughters. And some of the key things that we read about was some of the things that are preventative maintenance for us as a people on what to look out for. I know that a lot of us here have been hurt. A lot of us have had experiences that have pretty much shaped our view of how we view people in this walk, outside of this walk, good and the bad, but unfortunately, mostly the bad. And a lot of us are asking, what can we look out for? I believe this lesson did tell us a lot with some of the lessons. Like one of the things that Maish brought out with Ecclesiasticus was how a man should conduct himself with a married woman. If you are looking at leaders who are comfortable with hugging up and being very intimately close with married women, that gives you an idea of how they, of their moral code. You see how they talk to children, that gives you an idea of their discipline code. You see how they talk about or talk with their brothers, that gives you an understanding of how they are with brotherhood. I believe everything is key to answering certain questions we have. Now, I'm not going to say that makes them bad people. They might be growing, but everything that Maish brought out just gives us an idea of what to look out for and what to be warned about. And then this is something that popped up in my heart and my spirit when it's about young women. If you ever want to see what type of young woman or what character a young woman has, pay attention to her around children. Pay attention to her, importantly, around elders. Pay attention to how she talks about her parents. Pay attention to how she talks about men and women in general. You can learn a lot from people just by closing your mouth and listening to what they say, but most importantly, watching what they do. That way that we all can guard ourselves and we can keep ourselves from getting into more things that hurt, that cause us hurt. Again, Toda Rabah Ish for the lesson. Zehu.
Very good. May the Most High be praised. That's what we talking about. That family structure is tight. See that? May the Most High be praised. But she spoke with wisdom. You know, I remember I had an opportunity to speak to a group of young men. And, you know, when they're choosing and trying to pick a wife, and like nine times out of 10, the exact things that I would teach were the things that you just mentioned on. I like women. I like to observe people in their character around nature, around animals. When it's women we're dealing with, around the elderly. That's exactly correct. Because if it's a man that's looking for a wife, or if it's a woman looking for a good woman friend, most people disregard the elders, the elderly people. And if they're not disregarding the elders, then more so they have a different state of mind than the average person, and they will be good to you as well. Or at least be in a good bond with you, because they're in a good bond with the elders, their elders. I think that's important. So she touched on some words with wisdom. May the Most High be praised. The animal part. People who don't like animals are usually not good people. And I'm not saying you got to have animals, but I'm saying, oh, get that dog, get that cat. You know, those type of people are usually not too good people. I'm not going to say everybody, but most of them usually don't last the length like they should, you know? I mean, think about it. They can fake it out for a little while to fool you in certain areas, but when they don't like animals, I ain't talking about mice. I'm talking about things that most of us don't like around. I'm talking about just pets and good pets. You know, they want to feed the animals and they don't want to take care of them. They let them starve rather than throwing the food over the gate for them. To feed them. These types of people. That shows something within their character that's not a good thing. Because when it came to them not wanting to do something for you, they won't do it. True brothers and sisters, the whole principle is that they are willing to do for you even if they don't want to do it. It's called sacrifice. They make a sacrifice for you to show you that they're really about it. Now, when I say to show you, it's not because they put up a front, say, I want to show you. No, it's because they're showing you because you're looking and you're checking, but they're showing you their natural state by sacrificing to make sure that you're getting what you need or doing what you need to do, or you're in position to help yourself. It's good. So today's lesson was very, very informative. But I want to hear from the family. Y'all tell us some of the things that y'all got out of today's lesson. How has it benefited you in your life, in your walk toward the Creator from this day forward? Like, what messages, what lessons have you taken from this that will propel you into a greater relationship with the Almighty and with the Almighty's people in the days to come? Let's talk. Let's text. Put it up. We got a good 5 minutes left. Deep lesson, Sister Tucilia. Deep lesson. Thankful for the many insights and contributions. We need more of this. Absolutely. But see, we do need much more of this. But we can only be effective when you hear great lessons like this, you share it with others, put it on your page, send it out to people in Messenger, grab it and send it out to so many people that the majority of them, they get it so much, they'll listen to it and they'll hear it, and then they will begin to share it. And that's what these lessons on Shabbat is all about. We're not just giving this message for the people that are in the room during the Shabbat service. We're also reaching people who are not directly here, but yet will see the lesson at a later time because of good people like you that share these messages on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page, on your YouTube page, wherever you got access, on your Messenger page, wherever you can, share it. We have no problem with you liking and sharing these videos because these lessons need to get out, especially today's lesson. This lesson of this morning touches on the character, and it teaches you how to walk in your integrity righteously before the Creator. That's what this is all about. So these are the types of things we need to do. Let's see what we got. Talk to us, family. Some of the things you learned from this lesson, what were they? I can't hear anyone. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's typing. Nobody's talking. And Maisha looked like she's frozen.
Until somebody speaks, I'll say what I learned, even though I was teaching. I learned that, I think we all are aware of all the horrible things that's happening outside of Israel and within Israel. But one of the things that solidified what I think is, the drawing board of preparation for our women and our men as well, because it's a lot of hurt individuals, and I understand why, and it's like if we can just like real structure, righteousness, like want it, if we can want it, I don't know if we want it like that. I think we want it when we want it, if that makes sense, but not like it to be permanently given and or done to us. So I just learned that, it's a lot of hurt people. And I hate that we all are going through this, because if we don't get it right, It's just going to continue to happen.
You want to read that, Roche? Or?
Gaber Autumn says, I learned that paying attention to the people you have around and how you act around them is essential to building anything long term.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gaber Kaza said, righteousness is being mature in this walk. Just because someone is aged in years doesn't make them a practice of righteousness act. Okay. Prove all men and be patient. The truth will always reveal itself. That's right, Zenachon.
Mm-hmm.
Proving people before crediting them is what Gaber Gabby said. Proving people before crediting them. I think that's really important. I think a lot of us fall and have done that. You know, I know I have learned my lesson in doing it. But I think a lot of us do that. We credit somebody before actually
Proving.
I think a lot
Yeah,
of
I
us
would like.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I think what I learned a lot too is what everybody's saying, the proving part, because we do go into a lot of situations, especially if someone says, hey, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, we go automatically trusting them because that's what they call themselves. And when I call myself that, I'm calling myself that because I'm like thinking about I'm a servant to the Creator. And what I've realized, and as my Bati stated, so many of us have been hurt because we go into these relationships considering people to be who we are. And a lot of times a person, just because they call themselves a Hebrew Israelite, isn't a servant to the Most High. They're just calling themselves a title or accolade or whatever because it feels good to them, or because they might just be following a crowd or whatever is good at the moment for them. And so the lesson that, I definitely heard today was the proving of people, and not being afraid to do it. Because a lot of times we'd be like, oh no, I don't want somebody to feel like I don't trust them because I'm asking questions. That's the only way we should trust somebody, is to ask the questions. And then we shouldn't trust them if they can't answer the questions, or if they get offended because, hey, I went and asked some people some questions about you because you said you were in a congregation with them or some type of relationship. I wanted to know how you are, who the character of who you are. Who am I bringing amongst me and my family? So, and I could testify to my own self that through the adversity, that I experienced from not proving people, I've turned that around. And now I'm more into proving people first, asking the questions, seeking out, not opinions, but truth facts about a person and their character from others who they may speak of, or who they say, oh, I follow this person, or I came from here. Because just because you're not a part of a group or anything doesn't always mean it was you left on bad terms. So to be able to ask the question, and even if you left on bad terms, that doesn't make you a bad person either. It all depends on the character of who you are, the integrity that you represent. So, it just basically confirmed that we have to continue the path that we're on. That's something that I know we have been working on here, diligently proving people, because it's so easy to get caught up in, hey, everybody come, and nobody's proven. And then we're left holding the bag or feeling broken because we've invited people into our space who have basically stolen from us or destroyed our trust or integrity, or destroyed just, something within us that you cannot fix. So, the lesson is deep and it can hurt a lot of us. It triggers different ones of us in different ways. but we have to learn. And as you said, Ish, we gotta, every time we come to services or come to class, we gotta learn something from it. So it definitely, you know, just, it was a regurgitation of what we've been speaking of so much, but we have to actually put it into practice. So Toda for the lesson today.
May the Most High be praised. It's now 2:04, family. We'll be back. We're going to take our break for an hour, come back at 3 o'clock, and we have the second portion of our class about to begin. All right, we start off with the commandments, and then if the commandments doesn't lead unto a lesson, we will be reading in the book of Numbers, chapter 20 and chapter 21. May the Most High be praised. If it is his will, we see you all back here at 3 o'clock. Yes, Maura.
Salika, I just want to say one thing. I see we have 14 viewers. I don't believe everyone has said something. I do just want to say from the Bayeeth family here at Temple Keeper and Toda Rabbah for listening and staying with us. If you choose not to say something, we still appreciate you just for sticking with us. And we pray that something was said in this lesson that can help further your spiritual life and your life with your family and whoever is surrounded by you. Toda Rabbah and Zehu. That's all.
Most High be praised. Rosh? Can't hear you, Rosh.
Gabby said, know who to do good to when she was answering your question. She said, surround myself with people of wisdom, is what she learned. Zakena Tusilia said, today I learned that the other books can fill in the gaps when it comes to understanding certain things in the Tanakh. And true friends are to find in these times when you are in need, you see them, from Opal. And then Gaber Zakaria said, Khan, the importance of proving. This was truly a great lesson. I also took away the importance of order and structure as it pertains to what the Most High has put into place.
Most High be praised. And Sister Opal, Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you again. May the Most High give you a blessing upon blessing upon a blessing upon a blessing till you're fully saturated with his blessings. Praise the Most High. Give him the glory, family, because he deserves it. Mm-hmm. So if it is the Most High's will, we see you all back here at 3 o'clock in 1 hour. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.